Very good. Okay, we are live. Welcome everyone to our daily success power up, fire up, super up, something up call. John Lavinia here with you and all of you. Look at all of this cast of characters. Oh my goodness, good to see you guys. Glad you're here. Chris is out in space with Elon Musk or whoever's in space today. Good to see you all. So here's the story. We're going to start with the story. And it's going to lead directly into our topic. I just got to figure out what the bridge is going to be, right? So, before we get into the story, I have an announcement. And the announcement is that I'm going to be on a plane at this time tomorrow. And it is also a major holiday in the Jewish faith, Yom Kippur. So happy Yom Kippur. So Karen will not be on, nor will I be on tomorrow. So I'm figuring out what can I do between packing and everything else that I can maybe prepare something for you. Maybe you can watch a recording because I'm going to be in the air. Karen's not going to be here either. I guess you could all just get together and kibitz with each other. You could do that, okay, live. I'm just wondering what the content I could provide could be. But here's the good news. Even if I don't come up with like some amazing, profound content for you, you still have an entire library of archive, right, on the YouTube channel, which I know a lot of you are tuning in on YouTube right now. Okay, so go back, close your eyes, pick one, click it, and then watch the broadcast from whatever day you clicked on, right? So you could do that if you're subscribed to our YouTube channel. Please do. So this way you never miss me too much and too long. I know some of you cry bitter tears when I'm not here, just wondering, when I'll return. Anyway. So here's the rattlesnake story. So my wife and I are from New Jersey, if that's not already apparent. And back in 2000, we decided what would be the exact opposite of New Jersey. How about Arizona? Great, let's move. So we did. So we moved to Tucson, Arizona. And south of Tucson, there is a little town called Patagonia. Okay. And there's a lake. And they got like a little, town parade for the 4th of July and all this. Anyway, so we're down there. It's the heat of summer, and we're walking down a trail. And my wife sees a squirrel climbing a tree. Like that not something she's seen 10 million times in New Jersey, the friggin' squirrels, right? So she's looking at the squirrel while we're walking down the trail. And then across the trail, about 5 feet in front of her, is the biggest diamondback rattlesnake I had ever seen at that point in my life. Just stunning, just doing its thing, not really interested in anything else. But she was like within 5 feet of this thing. And so I shoved her out of the way off the trail. And she was like, what are you doing? She was looking at the squirrel, right? And then I showed her, look at that. And oh my goodness, good thing she didn't step on that. Like the old Gadsden flag, don't tread on me. Hey, I'm doing the rattlesnake thing. You're cool. I'm cool. Let's be cool, right? Don't step on me. Don't do that, right? Interesting tidbit. The rattlesnake can strike half its length. So it's a 5-foot snake, 2.5 striking distance. All right, just food for thought. Unless you're like Steve Irwin and you just got to grab the thing by the tail. Just keep your distance and you'll be okay. And to this day, whenever there's something that is, I'm looking for the butter. Where's the butter, right? And it could be right there, right there in the refrigerator. I can't find the butter, right? Where's the butter? To this day, we've got a joke between us. Good thing it wasn't a rattlesnake, right? Because it was right there and you just didn't see it. So good thing it wasn't a rattlesnake. Good to see you all. That is the perfect segue. Actually, I don't have any segue at all. I got to build a bridge here into our topic, which has been introduced twice in the last 12 hours. I was talking to Vicky, shout out to Vicky in New Zealand, who I think is here with us live. She probably is at 5:15 in the morning. There she is. Hey, Vicky. And also to Missy, who is on the other side of the planet in New York. Okay. This idea of keep on moving despite whatever apparencies are to the contrary. So we're going to keep moving despite what we could call uncongenial circumstances. Now, look, any business, any enterprise, any endeavor, any new field of study, anything of note, anything worth doing is going to have the barriers or whatever opposition to your purposes as part of the game, right? There's nothing personal about it. It's just part of the game. right? If you want to play football, you're going to have opponents. Otherwise, no game, right? It's boring, right? You run the ball over there. Hey, we did it. Nothing, right? No game. I need opponents. I need barriers. I need rules. Otherwise, there's no game. So how do we, considering that we've chosen the games that we're in, how do we continue to persist or persevere? Persevere, think of the word through severity, through severity. How do we persevere despite all of these things which seem contrary to our purposes? In other words, how do we maintain our willingness? Here's another way to think of it. How do we maintain our willingness to solve the problems which stand between us and the fruition of our purposes, our goals? And in the question is the answer revealed. We are moving towards the accomplishment of goals, and they are known, and they are not unknowable. They are knowable by us, and they are known, and we're not vague about that. And because of that, we have something other than the barriers to focus our attention on. Now, you see, if we go through life, and I've done this plenty, and I've got the barriers right in my face, I've got my problems, I've got all of my considerations, yes, my considerations about why I can't, right in my face, like attached like a mask, right? And it's all I could see. And I start seeing everything through those filters or through that mask, right? Everything's going to be clouded by my perception, which is that at that point is skewed. Because what do we know? I think we've talked about this before, the law of polarity, right? If there's a heads, there's got to be a tails. If there's an up, there has to be a down. If there's a bad, there has to be a good. So is it even responsible for me to allow my attention to be fixated on the barriers, the problems, the I can'ts? No, irresponsible, right? And I'm talking about the one thing that I think we could all agree that we've been given dominion over, and that's our own ability to think, right? We've got this mental faculty known as the will. Well, what's that for, right? Well, to choose the right thoughts, my goodness. So I've got a will. I can give myself a directive, and I could say, you know what? Let's go ahead and break attention on that right now. Let's go into a state of disagreement. Okay. Yes, that's real. Yes, there's a real opponent on the field. Okay. But I disagree with, I'm going to be tackled now. I disagree. I'm going to go around. I'm going to go between their legs. I'm a little Italian guy. I could do that. I'm going to jump over them. I'm a big, huge guy, right? I'm going to do the phantom dance or something, right? Something can be done about it. And there's a reason that I'm willing to do something about it. And that is the goal, the purpose, the reason I showed up in the first place. So if we're going to fixate our attention on anything, if we're going to use our will, our mental faculty of will, to choose thoughts, right? And not just be the effect all the time. You can't. Okay. If we're going to do that and be responsible for our own thinkingness, well, what is it that we could choose to put our attention on? Well, the purpose, the goal, the carrot on the stick, right? And to keep that ever present in our mind. And then, deal with barriers and whatever. But I would argue that the problem itself isn't the barrier. It isn't the circumstance. It isn't the Gear Bubble can't figure out their technology, or Etsy shut you down like they shut everybody down. That's just part of their game. The actual anatomy of the problem is all your considerations about it. It's you going into agreement with I can't. There's the real problem. You've got to be willing to disagree. And then you could be above the game, if you will, right? You could be the umpire or the referee or the coach, right? Or the announcer, not on the field. And yes, you're also on the field playing the game, but you can observe the game while not being so damn attached to it. Oh, I've got a problem, right? I mean, think about the announcer at the football game, right? Howard Cosell, right? Everybody remember Howard Cosell, right? But they didn't get tackled, right? They spoke objectively and maybe in an entertaining way. Oh my goodness, he got tackled. Okay. I'm not going to do a Howard Cosell impersonation. It was a little bit before my time, but But think about that, right? We can observe the game while still being in it, but not so damn attached to it. I've had this conversation multiple times, especially with people in the sales world, which we all are to various degrees and with different methods. Okay, but especially with people who are face to face or one to many, seminar, webinar, that sort of verbal communication. But most especially when they're in a dialogue with someone, there is the tendency for people who are newer in that space to introvert, right? In other words, to fixate their attention on what themselves. Am I doing it right? I hope I have the right words. Hey, I need a script, and all these considerations about doing it right and why they're probably not doing it right. Okay. Versus if they can get their attention unfixed from that, where would their attention now be available to go? Onto the customer, extroverted, observing, listening, 2 ears, 1 mouth, aha, right? Math. So now I can listen, and now I can hear what's important to you, Mr. and Mrs. Customer. Oh, I understand, right? And because I've done that again and again and again, talking with customers, I know what's important to people, what they want, why they want it, what their objections are before they even say it. I know all of it. Oh, why? Because I listened, not because I just fixated my attention on myself and why I think I might not be doing it right or something. I'm good. I'm good, right? No attention on me. This is all for you, all for you. In fact, I have the opportunity every day to be in communication with lots of different people through my various businesses, and sometimes people are. They'll ask me, how did I, get to be in this positions that I'm in and able to communicate ideas in the way I do. And I just say, well, well, first of all, I didn't just fall off the turnip truck yesterday, right? I mean, I've been doing this a long time. So yeah. And there's value in experience, but also I've gotten okay enough with myself and my own conviction that I'm going to reach my goals regardless of whatever this barrier or this situation or whatever this customer says or does or doesn't do or buys or doesn't buy. I reach my goals regardless. Hopefully for their sake, they go ahead and, accept my offer if there's, an offer to be sold, right? Or I just want to help them get what they want. But I'm not attached to whether or not they do. Hopefully for their sake, they do. And so you see what I just did? I just elevated myself above the game. Sure, I'm on the game and I'm running my mouth and we're players on the field, and that's fine. And also, I play a win-win game, so it's not like I win, you lose. So that's a different game to play too, right? We can all win. In fact, if you win, I win, and if you lose, well, I lose too. It's kind of like win-win, right? That's how we got to play this. That's how I play the game. But I'm also above the game in such a way that I can observe it and not be so damn attached to it. So we get to a point, let's say, for example, with let's talk about things you can't control. Okay. So here are the technical algorithms of Amazon or Gear Bubble or the technology of whatever, just fill in the blank with something that you didn't cause. You were not at cause for that experience. Okay. Now you showed up. So yes, you're responsible for now having the experience, but you didn't cause the tech problem. You didn't cause the severity, the adversity, the whatever it is that you now are deciding that you're going to persevere through. All right. So does that have an emotional reaction for you? Like when you experience the adversity, the barrier, the problem? Can we step back or above it and just look at it and say, you know what, I didn't cause that, but something can be done about it. Let me go ahead and make some noise. Squeaky wheel gets the oil. All right. I have had you guys know I'm a dog lover. And I've had many, many dogs. They've all been rescue dogs, which is, I think, a very smart thing to do. And I think I'm very smart. So, but all of our dogs have something in common. And that is that they like meat. Do you guys ever notice that? Any dog lovers here? They like meat for some reason. Dogs like meat. And so, and we're not like strict, rigid dog trainer people. Okay. So if the dog happens to come over to the table and there's a little fatty piece on the steak, the fatty piece is probably going to come down and the dog's going to get it. Now, what did I just do? I just trained the dog to come beg at the table. All right. Actually, I didn't do it. My wife did it. It is definitely my wife. And now I could say my wife and my daughter did it. Okay, but since that is the status quo here in the Lavinia household, I have succumbed to my fate, and that is what we have. We have dogs begging at the table. The point with that is that they don't, when I say, hey, get out of here, right? They might get out of here for a moment, and then they're right back. And then they're right back. And then they're right back. Do you think they get the piece of fatty meat? Yeah, they do. They just keep asking, hey, can I have a piece of that meat? Hey, I saw some meat. Even if I say to them, look, I'm going to give you this piece of meat and then get the hell out of here. Oh, okay, give me the piece of meat. I give them the piece of meat. All right, now get the hell out of here. They come right back. Hey, you got any meat? I was like, didn't we just have this conversation? Didn't we just have what? All they see is the meat or the carrot or the goal, right? And they know where they get their sustenance, right? Now they can't consciously talk themselves out of this. Yes, if we got into more of a dog training bit and there was more reward for not being at the table than there was for being at the table, well, then they wouldn't be at the table, right? But there isn't more reward for that, right? That's what we've trained in. We've trained that into them. That is more rewarding to sit at the table than it is to go lay in your bed and wait for the banquet that will befall you once the humans are done eating. They've never gotten that training. Okay. Persistence, right? All they know is I want meat. So can you train yourself like that? Can you, because a lot of times people think of persistence or perseverance as drudgery and, oh my goodness, we're going to suffer through it. Right. Can you just train yourself like I trained the dog to just be like, hey, can I have some meat? Right. Hey, this thing isn't working. Hey, this thing isn't working. Hey, this thing isn't working. Guess what? They're going to say, hey, here's your cookie. Get the hell out of here now. Right. They're going to you're going to get a response. Okay. And not all emotionally involved with it. There's no emotion about this. Right. It's just like an alarm clock with a snooze button on it. Okay. Which I personally don't use, but you click the snooze button and it's going to start ringing again in a couple of minutes. And you click the snooze button. It's going to start ringing again in a couple of minutes. Emotionless, impassive, doesn't give a damn about your opinion on it. It was programmed to ring. Can you be like that? Yeah, no emotion about it, right? I'm not telling you to be a pain in the butt for everyone you confront, but I'm here to tell you that if you've got an unsolvable problem, so you think, it ain't necessarily so. Something can be done about it. You can persevere, you can persist, and you can do it with a smile on your face. Emotionally detached. All right, that's by the use of the will. Okay, it is the will of the dog to beg for the meat, right? It is the will of the alarm clock to ring every 5 minutes. It is the will of the marketer to have their technology running to get through the issues, to overcome the barriers, to solve the problems. Great, do that. I remember having, and I'll end with this, I had this conversation with a magazine. They were interviewing me, and they ended the interview with, John, is there one piece of advice for our readers that you could leave us with, the one thing? I'm like, oh, here's the one thing question. When you've been around for a while in the space that I'm in, people like to ask you for the one thing. Yeah, the one thing is do everything. Yeah, do it. But I said, all right, here it is. Here's the best advice. Decide who you are and then be that. Oh, John, that's amazing. How profound. Oh, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. John. Okay, great. So what did I just say there? I just said, have some damn integrity. It's the title of my first book, right? Integrity is everything. Just like decide who you are and then be that. I'm a successful marketer. I'm a successful business builder. And then whatever your roles are, I'm a good parent. I'm, et cetera, right? but decide that. Decide means a cutting off point. Decision, a cutting off. Decide. From, cut, right? Cut from, decide who you are. And then be that. Okay, well, what does that guy do? Oh, that guy, gets the problem solved. That guy doesn't get flustered, when there's these problems or whatever. That guy doesn't sit there in a state of chronic considerations. Hi, Roxana. I'm going to mute your microphone. Considerations about why I can't. That guy just gets on with it. And you can actually, see, you can get like prompts or role models or whatever that you can incorporate or assimilate from all different directions, right? Who would be a good role model in your world for this or that purpose, right? I'm not saying you're looking for a messiah or something. I'm just saying, this person's got it together in that area of life. How about with e-commerce? Well, that one should be pretty easy, right? There's this Rachel person. Yeah, she's got some stuff going on. All right, that's a nice role. What would Rachel do? What would Rachel do? Great question. Well, we'll do that then, right? It could even be from like movies and stuff. A character, which the advantage of having a character is that it's not the actual person, right? They're enacting a character, an ideal portrayal of how this person would be. For me, it's Aragorn. Lord of the Rings, Aragorn, portrayed by Viggo something Mortensen. I don't know his name. But Aragorn, right? The Return of the King, right? Here's this guy, and he goes through some hell, right? But he keeps it together, right? This guy's together. I mean, he's the rightful king, right? He's got a posture about him, a posture. I like Aragorn. What would Aragorn do? So now you guys can all call me Aragorn. Somebody save me. I'm done talking. Stop talking, John. Somebody else talk, please. Commence talking. Let's have some hands. What do you guys think about this whole idea here? Hey, Mark, come on out, my friend. What's your story?
Hey, how you doing? So many things are coming up for me, but that Aragon, yeah, I have my alter egos that I use, my superheroes, when I have to put on that hat, so it works. But for me, it's being clear on my why, and the why is always convoluted. We hear that so often. So what is my meat, right? You call it meat. Whatever that looks like to the individual, that's what kind of drives my why, and that helps me overcome challenges. And I reframe from the challenges that come forth to learning opportunities. And when I get frustrated, I always go back to my why. And I always try to come from a place of service. So how can I be of service to me? And that comes with integrity, right? Mm-hmm. Be of service to me, and how could I be of service to that individual? And I like what Randall said, stay hungry and be passionate, because I continue not to be hungry anymore when I don't want that meat, when I don't want my why, I'm no longer passionate. I'm not good to me or anyone else. So there's a lot of good stuff in there. So how I navigate through my achieving my goals is I hold on to that meat, I hold on to that why, and I hold on to that hunger so I can push through. And that could be faith, that could be anything that I put a name to it, so I can push through that. And I believe there's a lot of barriers that come through here. And when I hold on to that, I go, well, why am I doing this? What's my meat? Where's my why? And then how can I be of service? How can I make this a learning opportunity? Let's move forward. And that's how I get through that. That's life. That's me.
Thank you, Mark. Glad you're here, my friend. Beautiful stuff. Anybody else? I don't see any other hands up. Are we wrapping with that? Is that it? That was so profound that I put you all to sleep and nobody's got any other comments. That's a first. Hey, Missy, come on out, my friend. Missy, then Michael.
Hey, well, I'll tell you what's changed since I joined this group back in June. A big thing happened Monday night through your group, and something fell away from me. And I've been praying for this to happen for so many years, but I wanted it to just happen to me. You know what I mean? And a realization came that many of us, just the brief phrases, have a will to fail that we keep secret from ourselves. And everybody keeps all the secret for us as well. And we all, just like you have said many, many times, I'm okay, you're okay, but nobody's okay. And when that fell away, something, I don't know, bells went off, the world is changing. And despite things that have been seeming adversities, they just really are just ways for me to learn new things. And I'm free from this secret. And I don't want to go into it too much, but if you may not realize that for many years, you may have had the will to fail. And it's a book, Dorothea Brand, Wake Up and Live. that John is going over. And it's sneaky because you don't want to admit that to yourself. But once you can admit that, then you're free of it. And then you just go on and you go. Theodore Roosevelt, just a little, he used to tell his children they'd walk around Sagamore Hill, which is near me. And they had a lot of nature and fences. And he would say, we're going to go over, around, over, through, or under, but never around. He was trying to toughen up his children. So I think of him. I think of Calvin Coolidge. Not many people do. Rest in peace, Calvin Coolidge. And I'm thinking of who I am and maintaining myself in my new lane, which it's a little hard because I haven't been here very long. But now I know where the lane is, and I'm not veering off the Southern State Parkway. So this group has changed my life, and your words and the books you recommend have changed my life. And I'll say it as often as I can. I could never thank you enough. And so have the people here. Pivot, where's Kelly? Kelly, that was part of that. So thank you all, and thank you, John.
Thank you. So glad you're here, my friend. And we're just getting going. So keep showing up. More will be revealed. I've only known you for a couple months, Missy. We're just getting started. Yeah. Hey, Michael, what's your story? Let's get Michael.
There we go. Apparently technical issues not finding the unmute button. But persevering nonetheless.
Yeah.
No, I just figured it'd be like, it wouldn't be a meeting if I hadn't said something and kind of spouted off. So I figured I'd say hello. My issue the other day, and I was making a joke and I totally forgot. When we are done with the transcripts, okay, is there a way to still save them after our meeting closes?
I think they're all recorded to YouTube, right? You guys are
Okay.
seeing this on YouTube right now. That you're seeing the transcript underneath as well, right?
Yeah, there's so many links. It's amazing. I found some new and original stuff from Rachel recently that had 3 views. I'm like, ooh, this is exciting. It's like discovering treasure.
Right. Okay. Very good.
Well,
Imagine
good luck with
66
your-
people.
What was that, Faith? Uh-oh. Oh, we got random microphone action going on here. Oh my goodness. All right. Michael, were you done? You good?
I was just gonna say, good luck with your trip tomorrow.
Oh, well, thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
and God bless you, and have a safe journey.
Yeah. I got a little, I guess they're calling it a vacation. We were awarded for one of my businesses this luxury trip. So I have to go suffer through, coconut drinks on the beach.
It's tough, isn't it?
Yeah.
You gotta do what you gotta do. You gotta do it for the rest of us, not
That's
for
it.
you, for us.
I'll send you a picture.
Okay.
Yeah, there you go. I'll make sure there's a transcript on it too. It'll say nothing. But, okay. Very good. Thank you, Michael. Scott, you've got the floor. Hello, sir.
Hello, how are you doing? How's everybody else on this fantastic day? Yeah, talk about transformation. Ooh-wee. Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out that little tidbit you gave there, how to train myself better, maybe how to give myself those little tidbits after I do certain things or whatever. But I think the pat on the back's okay, easier to do for myself. But one thing is that my friends are seeing this huge difference in me lately, and they're like, you're changing and growing, and they're impressed with what's going on. So to say thank you so very much for everybody here, everybody's support means so much to me, and believe it or not, day to day, everything is really going very well for me, and I know it is for everybody else because I feel that, and it shows. I think everybody's bright stars are right with us all the time now. I think we're going all down the right paths. We keep doing this every day. How could you miss the path?
I'll tell you
Thank
what,
you.
the emotional barometer is a valid one. So, I feel good, I do good. That's interesting, right? My stats go up when I'm in an elevated emotional state. So yeah, Scott, glad you're here. Keep tuning in. I will too, except for tomorrow. All right. Anybody else? Come on out. Any other thoughts you'd like to share? We got Patricia. Patricia with the amazing porta potty. Patricia. Where's Patricia?
Well, it worked. I sold a lot of bumper stickers for that.
We aim to please. We aim to please.
I was just thinking that when I was younger, I learned two things. One is the word can't, or contraction can't. No, I can't. That's not in my dictionary. I can't do this. No, I can try. I might not achieve it, but it's not that I can't do it. There's reasons why it won't be achieved. But the other thing I keep thinking of, and I have to keep reminding myself of this all the time, is the little train that said, I think I can. Do y'all remember that? Or y'all wait, they don't do that
Yeah,
anymore.
the little engine that could.
I think I think
yeah.
that goes on. I start getting that in my head, and it starts getting faster and faster and faster. And then I start hearing a train going down the track, you know, and
All right.
sometimes I have to make myself think of my little train, but that's what I try to do, is to keep my brain saying, I know I can, I know I can, I know I can, you know, and that's what I do. And
well, you're doing
that's
it. So well done. Yeah. Well done. I love that acknowledgement. Well done.
Well,
Patricia.
you know, I've tried and found out through many businesses that they were not for me, but I tried them first, you know, and then I found out that because of one thing or another, that it wasn't something that I could be doing or needed to be doing. But at least I gave myself a shot at it. And I
Okay.
tried and I accomplished it. It just wasn't what was for me, you know, like I had 2 or 3 different businesses that I did. So
Right.
but they didn't fit my soul. I guess you
Fair
could
enough.
say. My mother used to say that you have to feed your soul. And none of them fed my soul, like being with people, you know, and talking to
Right.
people. And so my little
Okay.
brain keeps saying, I know I can.
Well, interesting topics you bring up. There's two topics that Patricia just brought up. We're not going to have time to get into them now. We're actually already out of time, but it's food for thought for next week. So one would be, how do you know that you like or don't like something? She said it's not for me. It didn't feed her soul. Okay. And by the way, one of the reasons we get together here is because if you were attempting to do e-commerce all on your own, it would not be nearly as gratifying as, hey, Faith keeps running that microphone. Hi, Faith. We think you're awesome. I just keep muting your microphone. But the idea that you have to do this on your own is not as pleasing to you.
Yeah.
And maybe for other people, they're not tuned in right now. We got thousands of members in Low Hanging System, right? There's probably between live and recording, probably about 200 people that are going to see this out of thousands, right? Okay, do whatever you want. So for you, that's fulfilling. But to get to that point where you even know, yeah, I like to do this, right? You've got to at least experience it, right? A lot of people have like this opinion about stuff that they have no idea what it is. So at least you endeavored. You used the word try. I don't like that word, but it's your word. Okay, if you want to use it. But you endeavored, you accomplished something, good or bad, it was accomplished. And I'd like to opt out now. Okay, so that was your choice, right?
Yeah.
The other topic that you brought up, which you didn't know you brought up, was who you're getting advice from. So if we look at all the different advice that we could take, because you've joined multiple things, you've started multiple businesses, you did not originate those businesses out of the ground, right? I mean, these were things that already existed, either in terms of demand or method, right, or systems, right? But a lot of times people take advice from just anybody, and what do we know is the cheapest commodity, right? Free advice, right, and all this. A lot of times people take advice from others who also didn't actually experience success, right? Is that worthy advice? Look, the value of being here in this group and being educated and taking the path of the student is that you get to get advice from someone who not only knows the subject, but knows it to the degree that they have made a spectacle of themselves in that subject. That's the advice that I want. right? Not all these other critics and opinions or academically, oh, I think you should do this. Right. I want to know who's sitting on the throne right now. That's what I want to
Yeah.
listen to. So anyway, a couple of great subtopics in there. Patricia, I love you. We aim to please around here. Okay. I just want you to know.
Thank you.
All right. I think we'll wrap up with that, right? We'll end on a high note. Again, I don't know what's happening tomorrow. I'm going to beg you guys, please, if there's nothing going live here tomorrow, please play nice. Okay, everybody, you can do your little pre-meetings throughout the entire meeting session. We won't be live on YouTube tomorrow. Okay, but play nice, help each other, love each other, all that. Karen, not me, will be back here with you for Fun Friday. All right, so get ready for that action. And she'll also be here with you on Monday, because I'm going to be flying back on Monday. So Karen, just in case you were vague on the schedule, now you know the schedule. You've got the controls, my friend. We'll see you guys real soon. Make it a great day.